Let's go. Let's go.
Yes, that's the energy. Now that you're all set, it's smooth sailing. If
Okay.
you
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
have,
Say hi if you can see me. I'm on here and I'm just sharing out my live. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Come on in. Come on in. Wait for everybody to start coming in. Had a little technical difficulties, of course. Always something. But it's all good. I'm good to go now. All right. All right. Hey, girl. Hey, Missy. How are you? Thanks for coming in, sweetie. Thanks for coming in. Hope you're doing well. I'm so glad it was a warm day today. Because let me tell you, I've been sick of this ice snow or whatever's been going on. I've been over it. It was a nice warm day. I got to walk a little bit. So, hope you're having a good week. Yes, girl. Yes. This winter need to go ahead and wrap it up. Wrap it right on up. So, hey, Reese. Thanks for coming in, cuz. Girl, doing this setup stuff sometimes, things act tricky. Just trying to get everything together and make sure everything is straight. Yes. Oh, so over it. Like I know when the summertime comes, I'm gonna be complaining about it being too hot, but at least you still was able to at least get outside a little bit and have fun, go to the pool or something. This thing here just woo, it's not good. Then if you got a whole rack of kids in the house eating on your food all week. Mm-mm. Reese, how are you doing with all the kids in the house? Grocery bills, crazy. So I hope everybody can hear me all good. So yeah, this last week was just a really, really crazy week. We lost yeah, I know, right? Cause I'm gonna give a shout out to a Facebook friend of mine that passed away last week. I didn't find out until after I came out of my podcast that Crystal Nicole had passed away. So just want to say much love to Crystal's daughter and her family. She was a really sweet girl. She was always welcoming. She was the admin in that group, but she was not playing. Okay, she would shut them fellas down. So it was a lot of fun going back and forth and seeing her, you know, her actions. So she will definitely be missed. Rest in peace, Crystal. Um, I tell you this life. I tell you this. It's just crazy. It's just crazy. I always push for everybody. Just enjoy your life while you're here. Because life is so short. Life is so short. So I did want to talk about some current events before I get into the main topic. As you can see, do you owe your family if you become rich? Is going to be the topic tonight because I seen some things last week that like was just blowing my mind. So I was like, oh yeah, we're gonna have to talk about this. Hey, cousin Sandy, welcome, welcome. If you guys don't mind sharing the live out. I greatly appreciate it, and thanks for coming in. Cousin Cindy gave me some great feedback last week. She really enjoyed the show, and got me and her got some plans. Her son wrote a book, and it kind of related to From the Pen to the Penthouse. So I definitely will be having her on here and him at some point so we can discuss his book because I can't wait to hear more about it. So, but yeah, I just wanted to know what you guys thought last week. I think it was last week, with this y'all head of the country posting that video with the Obamas pictured as gorillas, like, or monkeys or whatever. Like, um, I'm not saying that I'm that surprised considering everything that has been going on. I'm not that surprised. However, like the audacity and anybody else, they would have been fired. They would have been gone trying to pull some stuff like that. And the gaslighting that we went through of, I mean, just in the last few weeks, just even seeing things that went down with ICE and whatnot, and just trying to tell us that we're not seeing what we think we're seeing, that it didn't happen that way. And I'm just like, it's clear what's happening. Like, why y'all playing in our faces? I cannot stand when people try to play in our faces, but they've been doing that for decades now. So I think a lot of others are shocked, but a lot of us melanated people, we know better. We've been through this countless amount of times with police officers. So it is what it is with that. But it's just real interesting how that just got swept under the rug. We're not hearing about that anymore, right? We're just going to take what they say as is, and then we're just going to keep on moving on. And meanwhile, we have people out here in the streets seeing that boldness and thinking that they can be as bold. Now, y'all going to FAFO. For those who know what that means, yeah, keep playing with the wrong one. But anyway, hi, Serena. Welcome, Serena. Yeah, we can't, like, at some point, like, a lot of us, we're definitely not, surprised. So, but I wanted to also talk about the situation with Cardi B, right? I don't care what anybody says. I like Cardi B. I like her. I like any girl that's going to go and do what she got to do to get hers, right? So Cardi out here, I think I've always liked Cardi because she's really, really down to earth and whatnot, and she says some wild stuff, and I like when people say wild stuff. I mean, I've been known to say some wild stuff, maybe not as wild as her, but I think she's hilarious. I did, I do like her grind. Like, she's about making her money, and no matter what, she picks herself up, but she just keep on doing her thing, despite her personal life and her love life, because, you cannot just have a breakup or have, some stuff go down and you just completely stop living behind it. You got to keep moving, and you got to, like, after a while, I think, and as you grow and you get older, you just start brushing some stuff off, and you don't let anything or anybody come in the way of what you're trying to do. So that's why I like her. But I do feel like, we've all been young and dumb, and we've made mistakes. So we've chosen the wrong partners, whether it be out of give back, loneliness, just trying to move on, and things like that. So I think a lot of people that's out here judging have done the same thing. And I also feel like if you have multiple baby mamas and you're a guy, be quiet, okay? Because you all set. Some of y'all got kids same age too. Some of y'all got kids, and when y'all meet women, y'all are hiding the fact that y'all got that many kids. So don't be trying to come for nobody else. Yeah, and stop acting like people don't know you in real life when you get on here talking stuff. Okay, because we do. And some people might pull that card and tell on you. So, Serena, Nathan Cardi and the guy Stefan broke up over, I guess, whoever he brought to the Super Bowl and all this other stuff. It's too much to dig into right now, but a lot of people are like, she should have stayed with Offset, and she did worse by going with him and whatnot. And I mean, the amount of people that are just like stay in this bad marriage just to save face or just to save, kind of goes back to a couple of episodes ago when I was talking about generational curses, just staying in something, just to say you have somebody or just staying in it for so-called for the kids. And it's just miserable. It's a miserable way to live, So I think Risa, I mean, who wasn't a hot mess? Everybody's been a hot mess, is what I'm saying. And I do agree with you with this. She needs to slow down and find herself. Like, you have 4 kids. Like, focus on your kids, focus on your career, and the man will come, or he may not come. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, you're a mom, you know what I mean? And you have to actually set an example for your kids. And they're watching everything, especially her kids being out in the media and all that stuff. It's going to be, the kids are going to grow up. They're going to be able to see it, So I think that she definitely to just like fall back and focus on her music and focus on her kids. So they need her. So, and they need her to, she just had this baby. I don't know if the baby's like 3 or 4 months. Like, she doesn't want to like fall into premenopause. I mean, I said premenopause. Boy, that's me. That ain't Cardi. That's me. See how that y'all, before I got on here, this was hot. This hair, these glasses, and this headphones. It's real up in here. But anyway, I'm trying to say postpartum depression. Woo. So, because, going through a lot of that can definitely, push you into that direction. So, yeah, Serena, it's all over. I mean, I know you're not on Facebook a lot, but definitely check into it and read it. I mean, the gossip blogs, they got all kind of reasons, why this is going on. So, he has like, I don't know, 5 babies born at the same time. I don't know if these guys are in like, competition with Nick Cannon or what's going on. Like slow down, anybody use protection? I mean, it's still stuff out here. But I mean, I guess because people have money, maybe that they feel that they're untouchable for that type of situation, which is not smart. Do we know how many celebrities have passed away from, like, come on. And then there's some stuff you can get that you don't get rid of. Like, but yet, folks still out here playing. So there we are. So, but moving on, I definitely think that Cardi will learn. I mean, a lot of us learn. I know I was dumb as a box of rocks when I was a kid, especially over my kid's father. So it's a miracle that some people ain't end up in jail, behind it, just making the wrong, moves and stuff like that, So, yeah, a lot of, I felt like, Larissa, like I heard about the whole thing that she said regarding roaches, and then I've heard other people call people roaches. So, and they were Haitian. So I didn't know what the roaches comment was about. So I never like dug deep into it to find out, because I know what it can be used for. But then when I was seeing Haitian people say it, I was like, well, maybe, and they were dark skinned. I was like, maybe that's just something that they use in New York to describe people. So I didn't like really judge her on that. So I don't know. But I definitely think that I do like her with her family, and she does come off as a person as I venture into the topic that she takes care of her family. So they had like some videos of her and her kids down in the DR, and they had baby girl Culture, I think is her name, sweeping. Like, grandma wasn't playing, okay? Like, I don't care how much money you got, but it's good that they have such a tight knit, family. But everybody doesn't have it like that, which leads us into our topic tonight. So the topic tonight is, do you owe your family if you become rich? And so, Glorilla, let me just make sure that's sounded out, Glorilla. Her younger sister came out, and her sister was talking about, her sister was saying how she's not helping anybody. right? So the puppies are barking. She's not helping anybody in the family. I mean, it was like this whole big thing. Her sister came on TMZ, like spilling all the family's, laundry. I guess dirty laundry about Gorilla, and I think it's maybe 10 kids or something like that, and she's one of the younger kids. But this is just this one sibling. But I mean, as I'm looking at it, I'm just like, aren't you an adult? Aren't you grown? So if you're a grown, and I can see maybe if you were younger, and I'm talking about like along the lines of immaturity, that maybe you would have your hands out. But you are an adult. Get a job. Your sister doesn't owe you anything. Now, if she wants to, I feel like she can. And then even with the parents, she Loretta, she felt, the need to like come out and with her parents on the phone for them to explain things. And I think, just so her image wouldn't be destroyed. And so I feel like you're mad, so you just try to take your family down. You try to embarrass them in public. You try to, is that her name? I'm not saying her name on here, Larisha. If that's not her name. Oh gosh. Oh my goodness. I don't know what her sister's name is, but I don't want to misname her on here. But yeah, she's something else. She's definitely something else because she's just like, since you're not gonna help me, I'm just gonna come out here and humiliate you instead of just you going and doing what you gotta do. It's like, it's always somebody trying to bring you down some type of way when you make it up there. And a lot of times it's your daggone family, sadly. And I remember Kobe Bryant, may he rest in peace. But it was the whole thing with his parents, right? They're trying to like sell his memorabilia on the side, and it's like I'm sure that he was doing something. So, you know, why the need to go and do that, and burn that bridge with your son, right? And it was just messed up, it's just messed up because I'm sure, like I said, he was probably doing something, but I think sometimes people expect and they want more. They want more. Um, okay, her name is Victoria. Okay, Victoria. Oh, look at that, Victoria. Was it Victoria Hallelujah too? Gorilla, Gloria Hallelujah. Oh, okay. I think the biblical name. All right. Okay. Thanks, Reese. Because yeah, I ain't want to call her that, and then people be like, "Oh, you were trying to be biased or something." I don't know. So, but yeah. So I just think that that whole thing was wild. And then I want to say, like later on, his wife Vanessa, and I think this is after Kobe passed. I guess her mom was helping her watch the kids and things of that nature. So, okay, cool, But I think mom was looking to be paid. Now, there's been this big thing, and I remember when I was coming out because they're saying that the grandmas now ain't the grandmas of the past, right? So, um, they want to be paid for it, where sometimes like back in the day, grandma who was, I don't know how old grandmas was back then because I'm I don't feel like I'm a grandma of that time, even though I do. Y'all know I watch Rome, so y'all know Rome is my little homie. So I do not charge my daughter, but I do try to set boundaries on her coming home on time, certain things like that because I have a life too. Grandma got a life too. Let me try to make one move. So she has to respect those boundaries. But when it comes to financial, that is something that I'm not, putting on her. But I think that Serena, I agree. If it's, people will sell out their family sometimes for anything. I mean, we have people that are unalive family over chicken wings. You didn't eat chicken and that was their chicken. I mean, just dumb stuff. So that's just kind of like where we are, right now in society. So, but I do want to talk about the Glorilla thing because I just want to know how you guys feel like um, if you became a millionaire, you won the lottery. I mean, let's see. Put a good 50 million, right? So you win this 50 million. Like, how are you going to carry it with your family? Like, what are you going to actually put forth, to help the family? So yeah, she's in the wrong. Larisha says, I think Glorilla is definitely in the wrong. So what part of the wrong do you think that she's in? Like, do you think that she's not doing enough? Do you think she's not doing anything at all? Because my understanding, she is doing something, but excuse me, guys, but maybe it's not to what they want it to be, because um, even though we're kin, if she's the one putting in all the if she's the one putting in all the money, then there are things like, if she, let me give an example, right? So she buys them a house, right? She's like, all right, I'm gonna buy you guys a house. They're still, with buying that house, um, there's taxes, there's still utilities, there's still things like that that the person has to, the people who live in the house have to pay. So who's going to pay it? Is it an expectation for that person to still have to pay it? Is that fair? Definitely, if you come bashing me online, it's done. I mean, I think at that point you should know that we're done, and that I'm not going to suddenly be like, oh, okay, let me go ahead and, help you now, because, to save face, because you came out. So now, you just pretty much, set the tone of how things are going to go from here on out. And it's just not going to go the way that you thought it was going to go. So I think she definitely burned the bridge there. She definitely burned the bridge. So I'll wish her, Victoria, you got a little fame, I guess, somewhat. You better use that fame to your best ability, since you've been on TMZ. So maybe somebody will pull you up on that baddie show, or what's that guy name? I don't know. I can't even think of his name. Blueface. Maybe he has like a girl show or something he can pull her up on a reality show. But other than that, sis, you better go ahead and you better find your own way. You gotta find your own way. Um, yeah, I think for me, my family would definitely be taken care of. Again, I think that some people, may pay off their house for them or something like that. But if you go out and buy this big, huge, all of this stuff, they still have to be able to afford, to maintain it, you know. So, and then definitely don't keep coming with your hand out. So in a perfect world, that's how it happened. They will stop. But some people, I'm telling you, you give them a toe, they be trying to take your whole foot. They'll just keep coming, and it'll always be a problem. And then, I think I've talked to people who are the childless one, a lot of them, and their families, and maybe they're, very established. And so they're the rich uncle or the rich auntie. So everybody wants to come and be like, oh, well, this person doesn't have any kids. So it's the assumption, because they don't have, kids, they don't have those extra bills. And so they have extra money. Now, some of them, they may, you know what I mean? Because, they just taking care of themselves for the most part. However, I don't think that means that everybody needs to be going to them with their hands out just because they have it. And I feel like it should be something where they're not pressured to do it, but it's something that they want to do, right? So, um, I think, Serena, it will be finding what reasonable actually is in that situation. What's the reasonable amount? Like, how far do you go? So, cars, you got to pay insurance, right? Houses, you still got to pay taxes. In Alexandria City, some of these houses, $8,000, $10,000 a year. I mean, but if people are working full time, And if it's a few people in the house, I'm sure that they could probably, afford that. So just got to make sure that, it's smart choices, even in that, because I think a lot of people who do win the lottery, I know they had that girl, I don't even remember her name now, but she won like millions of dollars, and her baby father or something got arrested for like this huge charge, and they set the bond at, you know whatever this millions of dollars was, and this girl went and put her bond money up. And I'm like, I mean, her bail, I said her bail. She would have put up her lottery winnings for her dude. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, but that's just, whew, that goes into another topic of even being, careful of who you dealing with, because really, and then if she hadn't done it, he would have been like, oh, people would have been judging her for not doing it because that was her man and this and the other. And he held her down before she had money. And so why isn't she, holding him down? So, um, excuse me, never mind what he was out here doing, but, hey, so I think, success, in my opinion, success should only belong to the person who made the success. However, um, yeah, homeboy definitely would have been right in there. So I think people feel like it's not just the individual, it's the family. So let's talk about America's favorite family, the Kardashians, right? So to my recollection, okay, because I never watched their show, I didn't get, deep down into it or whatever, right? But, a lot of the come up was pretty much off of Kim, right? And I feel like with Kim's tape and all that other stuff, I mean, it led to this big, huge family success. So each one of them actually ended up coming off of Kim in their own way, right? Um, Now people can go into if they like Kim and her family or whatever, but the truth is that Kim actually came through, and her mom put whatever in motion. But look where they are. Like they're like, everybody loves the Kardashians, right? Everybody. I mean, Kim got her new show, Ultra. She's actually doing pretty good as an actress. I gotta give her little props for that one. But the family, and I don't know if that's what Victoria Gorilla's sister was looking for, um, for that come up. Yeah. And then like the Wayans family, from, they were all comedians, but they all, they came together. They were all talented, right? They were just talented anyway. And then they looked out for one another, you know. Um, and so they were able to get that opportunity to do that, just based off, their connections and things like that. But the Kardashians, yeah, I mean, the way they made it, it was through, we know what it was. Because if it was something that someone that looked like us did, they wouldn't have, sex tape, no, you would not have been famous off of that in the positive light. So that's another story right there. So we already know why in that, because we're not going to get the same type of fame for doing something like that. So, but but the Waynes, yeah, like pretty much everyone, did their own thing. They took it and they took off with it. But I don't know, the gorilla. She just like, hey, I made it and I'm here and I'm doing my thing, and she's just been doing her thing and she's been throwing money. But the family is just sitting there and seeing how big she got, and they're like, well, dang, what about us? Did you forget? You know, your family, like you should be looking out more. And I mean, her parents, I mean, maybe the mom still wanted to work. I don't know. She still wanted to work. Some people, they like working, they like having something to do. So maybe that's why they were still working. Dad said he was good, whatever. So I mean, that's them. I think definitely if she's looking out, you know, um, for her parents, that's cool. But for the siblings, okay, it's 12, it's not 10. Yeah, she can't support them all, and they should be, I think she's one of the, like number 7 or something. Yeah, so a lot of them, they should be already making their own moves and not trying to, come up off of her. But that's how people are. I mean, even friends, like, and I think a lot of times, people, they do make it big, and then they have this pressure to even like stay in the same neighborhoods, or not to say I got here and now I didn't forgot I forgot where I came from, so let me stay where I came from. You know what I mean? Let me still be running in the hood. Let me still be, showing that I have the street credit, or that I'm down. And then, that jealousy is still there. Like, how many times even we've seen people who, um maybe they were like, athletes. Like, you read a story about an athlete, and they say, oh, he was going to be this and he was going to be that, and his life was taken. And then you find out that that he was unalived by somebody who was his friend, or like somebody in his close circle, or somebody that just had, jealousy. You know what I mean? So it's like, I don't really blame people for like being like, I'm gonna get up out the hood, and then they just, maybe they do want to get back, in a different way, but not necessarily come back and hang it down, because you come back trying to hang around and somebody robbing you or somebody unaliving you. You know what I mean? And so even with family, I think, there's been people fighting over money, and, hurting each other, even when it came down to that. So, I mean, I just feel like nobody owes you anything. If they want to do it, yeah, it's cool. But if they don't, then, I mean, unless for real, if it's your kids, like you have kids and you're not taking care of your kids, and you out here a millionaire and all of this, or you come up and you're not throwing something out there for your children, yeah, then, you know, I think that that's really foul, and I think that, um, you definitely could be blasted for that. At that point, we can bring it out and let everybody know, that you are deadbeat, and it is what it is. So, but I definitely think, you should be, sharing with your family. You know, I think that Serena says, I think that it's the old black frame of mind. If one of us eats, we all eat, but it doesn't work like that anymore. So, I mean, yeah, I mean, I said it. I'm like, look, if I come up, and I meant that, we all come up. So when I'm saying we all come up, I'm meaning definitely my family. But again, you just have to make sure that you're doing it in a particular way. That you just, you can't help everybody. You can't free everybody from their mess. So definitely, so, oh, you read. So, Larisha says she read that Marilla's family threatened to unalive her from jealousy. I don't doubt it, because that's just what people are on. Um, and that may be why she's just like staying away, and she has her boundaries up, or she might be like, oh well, because even they have that whole thing, all kinfolk, all skin folk ain't kinfolk, and all blood ain't blood. I mean, sometimes blood be the main one do you worse. So you just gotta really watch and, pay attention. And then a lot of times, like, even growing up, if you talk to some people that they have that one sibling that seemed a little jealous, or seemed, a little vindictive, or, just different things that rubbed you the wrong way, or y'all didn't get along. And so you may have loved them still, but you're like, you know what, Shorty always was tripping, this, that, and the other. So when I get up and I get out of here, it could just be a house full of kids. And then that kid is like, I'm just gonna get up, get out of here, and make things work, and I'm never coming back. And we don't know the ins and out of the whole household. Sometimes people are like, yeah, this is a Christian household, and there was freaking psychos up in there, mistreating the kids, abusing kids, and all of that. That people on the outside didn't even know about. So, you know, I'm sorry, guys. Something that you don't know, if you could sit here and you could tell me you talk, your throat can get dry. So it's always good to have some water or drink nearby just to stay hydrated. Um, but yes, Arisha, some family, you must love from a distance. You have to, keep your distance because you just don't know. You just don't know. There was a movie, and I can't, of course, think of the name now. That was on Netflix. I think it was a Tyler Perry movie, but it was based back in like the 30s maybe, and it was two brothers. And one he was just overly jealous of the other one. The other one really had talent, and I think he was just jealous because of his talent. And so in the end, he ended up, basically getting his brother unalived by supremacists. So, just out of jealousy, he just could not take that his brother, was loved. And that's how it is sometimes. People will hate you just because of the way others love you, you know. So because they don't like you, then, it's just a hating. So I think that yeah, Larisha, like oh, Serena, yeah. I mean that whole movie, I mean it's so weird because Aretha Franklin and I have the exact same birthday. I cannot sing. But I take pride in the fact that we're both Aries and we have the same birthday. But yes, Marisha as well, Cain and Abel, that jealousy. There was barely any of them on the planet. How is it just four of us and you tripping and you jealous? So I'm sure it was probably more than that amount, but at that time, by the time that this happened. But yeah, that jealousy thing has been there, and I think that they sit back and they watch you blowing up, and they just can't take it, and that enviness, because the way her sister just came out and the whole no, 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 I'm like, what is this? Like, who is this? Yeah, and then she's getting all up in the camera, y'all. She all like, yeah, and I'm just like, really, this what you doing? This what you gonna do to your sister right now? But any attention works for people. Any type of attention that they can get, it works for them, and so that's just what they do. I don't know the story of Makai, so you might have to share that with me because I don't know that story. Um, but listen, it's a whole lot of stories. Okay, we can. It's a lot of stories with it. Joshua, those what's his Jacob? Oh my God, these days, Jacob and Esau in the Bible, and the mom it was even on it. Like stealing birthrights and that whole thing. Like, so this isn't new. This isn't new, and I think even gosh, that oh, I didn't know that's what she was talking about. I'm thinking of Makai somewhere in the Bible. Y'all know. I'm like, y'all know good way. I don't know all of everything in the Bible in the Bible verses. But she talking about my cousin Makai has my birthday. Yes, cuz yes, yes. I'm talking, but my brain over here like, who the heck? I'm like Makai. I'm like, I know she named Makai, but like, who in the Bible was named Makai? I'm like, there's a Micah. Like, girl, you just threw me all off. But yes. I actually have a few friends, and even some people that I met that have my same birthday. But yeah, that whole Aretha Franklin story is wild. And yes, Christian home and for the things that was going on to be going on was absolutely insane. But I definitely, if she grew up and she left, her folks alone, her parents alone, or her dad alone, or whatever, got away from people, I would definitely understand it, or anybody that's gone through that type of stuff. So, you know, but I do think that, you know, when your parents are elderly and if you are rich, I definitely would support my family, my parents for life. I definitely would look out for my parents. But then those are, I had good parents. I had my mom's gone, but I had my dad, of course, my sisters, absolutely kids, of course, my family. Yeah, I would throw y'all something. You know what I mean? Now I don't think I could do. You can't do everything for everybody, but yeah, yeah. If I have enough to go around, even if it's 2K, you know, pay a credit card off or something like that. Sometimes it'd be the little things that can take that can take you further, help, along the way. So I absolutely, would do that, you know. But going back to that girl, even when she won her the lottery and she had to do like that, she should have dropped him. She should have like, you know what? We in a different lifestyle now. We need to make better decisions. You out here in these streets, and this is not the right decision. Because now look, her money ended up being involved in that, trying to save him. So it just wasn't a smart way, to move. Um, but I think there was, oh gosh, I can't even think of the guy's name now, but his son came out um, saying how he's married to one of the Spice Girls, and he came out, and the son came out saying everything's not what it seemed to be, and that the parents are famous. You're expected to present a certain way, and everything's supposed to be, look beautiful. Everything's supposed to look like it's perfect, and they were expected, to be perfect, and he didn't like that, and so now he didn't wrote a whole he put it all out there, and of course, the blogs and stuff, picked that up. So yes, thank you, Larisha. David and Victoria Beckham. I didn't plan on talking about them, but as I'm sitting here, I was like, wait a minute, wasn't it somebody else? Yeah. So, um, so the son name is Brooklyn. Thank you. So, yeah, he came out and he's just like, look. So now I'm just like, okay, I'm not sure what he has going on with in his life, but now his parents might be like, "Oh yeah, now you talking." So I hope he has his stuff together. He doesn't have to depend on his parents because now would they be wrong? Would his parents be wrong to be like, "Okay, so you came out here, you know, putting our business on Front Street, you know, are they wrong to now say, all right, son, that's it. You're on your own. Because I'm sure they were, helping him financially, but now, like, Larisha said earlier, like, you came out here saying this stuff. So, you figure it out, don't ever bite the hand that feeds you is the other part of that. So, I think that could also lead into people just with money having control, right? So that could be another side of it, having control because you have the money in the family and that person knows that you need them. So, there's some type of control that they have over you. And then like this kid probably was like, you know what, no more, I'm breaking free, you know. Oh, okay, so he married a billionaire. That's why he came out. I did see his wife. I did see that she was I didn't realize she was a billionaire though. Very pretty girl. So yeah, I think he's like, I'm free and I'm away from that. But like now, the damage is done. There is damage done. Like, so what happens when they have grandkids? So are they going to be able to see their grandkids? Is he going to, like, money breaks up so many families in the worst way, or the lack of, I guess. You know, um, People always say somebody changed once they got money, you know. Um, so yeah, they said it. Yeah, they said it were pretty awful. But from the outside of us looking in, you see two beautiful people, successful people. So no one's thinking that they're foul or they're messed up behind the scenes. They're just going off what the media says. Um, and that's pretty much how society looks at it. So I think that public opinion, with these stories will definitely make it worse. So now everything's out there. Now everybody has something to say. You have blogs, on all the social media accounts, everybody's talking about it. And that just adds more pressure. And I think that's the sucky part about being famous. I mean, even for Cardi B, I'm sure other people have been in Cardi B's type of situation. But now everybody's in her business because she's so popular, she's so famous. So yeah, everybody knows about it. And so that's like another beast that you have to fight is social media, and having your business out there. You have no privacy. No matter what you do, no matter what you post, no matter, you be quiet. They're like, oh, it's the end. Everybody check on them. If they say something, they take it and they run with it and connect it to stuff that is not even being connected to. But it's pretty obvious when you have a sibling come out, and then I think they try to pull Gorilla's brother into it. I think one of her older brothers into it, and he's just like, "Look, man, I'm trying to, I'm staying out of it." But even with a family that big, sometimes I feel like um, 12 kids, that's a lot. It's probably a lot of envious stuff going on. Sometimes you can even have parents that be jealous. Okay, I had stories, in my Facebook life of posts that I used to do questions of the days and stuff, and women came on there telling me about how their moms was jealous of them. I mean, competing for boys and everything, or attention and whatnot. I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy. So if you throw all of that type of toxic type of stuff into a situation, I mean, and then you throw some money in it, yeah. Now you think you're all that, this, that, and the other. You made it, now you forgetting where you come from, and you're a sellout, and I mean, it just gets real deep. But I definitely think that um, there has to be a way that the celebrities manage their family expectations. I think going into it, they probably need to have a conversation. But you win the lotteries overnight, so you know. But it definitely is something. Yeah, yeah. The public eye, mean, people are mean. People are mean, and it be adults. Okay, adults. And I'm like, you have kids. You're actually raising children, and you're a bully like this online. I mean, they've had instances where they found out kids was being bullied and it was adults. Really, you're an adult bullying a kid? Yeah, lock her up. Yeah, and pushing kids to the to. So I know for anybody that is you know a celebrity, it definitely takes a toll on their mental health. I mean, we see so many young folks right now that suffers from mental illness and things like that, and then has the media. I think Justin Bieber, he did a performance, I think, on the Grammys a couple of weeks ago, and you could just tell that just watching his career, that some things have gone on, and his mental health has been affected just by the way he performed. And so it's really really sad to see. And I think a lot comes with being in the spotlight. So I definitely hope Gorilla and her sister get things sorted out. Um, Probably won't happen anytime soon because I think now a lot of people are hoping for her downfall, which is messed up. So um, I don't know. Sometimes we are like crabs in a barrel, which is really messed up because if we're not where others are, we find a way to hate and try to bring them down. And I think with her situation, it's definitely a crabs in a barrel type situation. Um, and her sister is just, jealous. But I mean, I always feel like you can't depend on other people. You need to make the moves that you need to make to get what you want. And be it working two jobs. If you have a talent, pushing yourself out there, and not waiting around with your hand out and waiting to depend on somebody else. That's not somebody else's job to carry you. It's just not. You have to do it yourself. And it's always a lot of people, even family, just trying to come up off you. They're looking for the come up. So you just gotta, yeah, Larisha, I mean, that's why a lot of people, if they have overnight fame or they win the lottery, they want to remain anonymous. They don't want everybody to know. So not wanting to everybody to know, this kind of keeps you where you are. Nobody don't know. Nobody can't ask for nothing. Nobody can't try to take nothing from you and things like that. I mean, you should just look in the media and look at the news, and you'll see all types of stories of something being over about money or the life insurance and all that stuff. So more money, more problems. I guess that's some truth there. More money, more problems. So people be glad when you down and out like they are. They like that. But as soon as you start making moves, as soon as you start, having money, then it's a problem. So I mean, we have a lot of movies out that even show that. There's people in the street and all types of stuff. So just gotta be careful who you're around. I mean, even just watch why you're poor, watch people's character. That's going to tell you something anyway. So you always want to make sure you surround yourself with positive people and people who are not in the crabs in the barrel, because it always doesn't have to be about money. It could be more than just money and people trying to pull you down. Just be jealousy appears in different ways. Your mate, woman or man, could be jealous of you. You know, your family, father, sister, mother, cousins, whatever. You know, so um, yeah, sometimes that same looks good on the outside, but when you get in, it's a whole lot. But a part of me wouldn't mind. Part of me ain't gonna lie, wouldn't mind just a little bit, just a little bit. Like let me experience. I don't mind experiencing winning the lottery. Let's do it. Let's do it. Okay. I probably need to go buy lottery tickets so it can happen, but I wouldn't be mad if I experienced that. So, but guys, thanks for coming in. I'm gonna wrap it up in a few. Did anybody have any questions and stuff? I'm trying to um, be able to open this up for people who want to come in and talk sometimes, so we can just come on here as a co-host with me, and we can talk about some things. I have a lot of things that are lined up with some businesses, so you guys are going to be seeing some of my um, videos. I got a couple of appointments coming up with some businesses, so you're going to be able to see what they got going on. So there's going to be a lot with Coco, um, you know, and Offscript. Dale is doing his own thing. As a lot of people know, Dale has his hands in a lot of projects, Tubi movies, and his music. So he's going to be focusing on that. He might come and do his own thing, podcast wise as well. But for now, it's Coco doing this podcast. So I do appreciate you guys coming through and spending time with me. I'm going to be, I normally will announce what the next topic is going to be for the next week before that Wednesday, so everybody knows what we're going to be discussing. So definitely hope to see you guys next week. Yes, Serena, you know, for those who are Christians and or you know whatever their religion is and they believe, yeah, yeah. People, Serena said people need Jesus. Without him, money takes control of people's minds. So definitely, I mean, I think anybody with the higher power of thinking, and I mean, pretty much every religion teaches that. So definitely hope people do better, but we shall see. But right now, like my biggest thing is this stuff that's going on in the big house and posting up people as monkeys and things like that, just you know, pushing hate out here. So we definitely need some prayers for that stuff to get shut down. It's just gonna. I just feel like it's gonna be worse. It's just gonna be worse. Um, so again, anybody, you guys can go into Offscript's Sway page. The link is in the bio, and check out the other social media pages. You could also submit questions or submit topics that you actually want me to talk about. Let me know if you want to be a guest. If you are a business, you can submit a business submission, and we could talk about making some moves with your business and getting you on our spotlight. And then also, I'm going to be posting these videos from the live. They will stay on the Facebook page, but I also move those to the YouTube channel so you can check it out there. So want to thank everybody. Sorry for running late. I don't know. I was over here clicking around right at the last minute and had some technical difficulties. But next week I will be starting 8 o'clock sharp. So cannot wait to talk to you guys. So stay tuned. I got a lot of things coming up, and I just need this weather to work in my favor so I can make my moves. So we'll see. All right, guys. Have a good night. Thanks for coming. Bye.